Scattered across the upper Midwest are numerous lakes and bodies of water that begin to freeze as the temperature drops. As these lakes freeze and become safe, passionate fishermen from all over the Midwest and all over the nation begin to fill these lakes in search of fish and in their passion of the ever-growing sport of ice fishing. Ice fishing to some is an unfamiliar subject, and to others a very familiar subject. To some, most people think that it can be very dangerous, and dangerous it can be if you don't take the correct precautions and the correct actions to ensure your safety on the ice. Safety is the first and most important subject of ice fishing. Safety is the first thing that people look at, people think about, and people address before going ice fishing. What are the things I should bring with me? What are the things I should look out for? And what are the things that I need to be aware of before going on ice? Some of these things are, equipment such as a spud bar. A spud bar is a large bar that you'll take on the ice with you, and it's very heavy. This bar serves as almost a pick as you walk. And as you walk and you spud with this bar, if this bar cracks or even indents the ice ahead of you, you know that this ice may not be safe to continue walking on. This spud bar is used only after you gain reasonable assurance that the ice is safe. How do I gain reasonable assurance? I could gain reasonable assurance from local bait shops. These bait shops could tell me, they've done studies in the areas and the area lakes that their safe ice has produced according to the weather. If the weather has been below zero temperatures for several weeks, the ice will begin to form, and it will form at a pace that becomes very safe. Now, if you have 2 or 3 days where it's above freezing, and then a couple days that it's below freezing, this ice continues to freeze and thaw, creating unsafe ice. So it's very important that the ice it was created over an extensive period of cold time to create strong, healthy ice. Other things you need to have with you are picks. These picks are small, corded picks that go around your neck as you walk out. So worst case scenario, you do fall through, you can actually use these picks from around your neck to stab into the ice and pull yourself back up onto the ice, onto a safer portion to get back to shore. Like I said, that is a worst case scenario, but it's better safe than sorry to have these picks. With the right equipment, the right information, you can safely enter the ice. Now, after I know my ice is safe to enter on, I need to decide, where do I begin? Where do I start for ice fishing? Again, you can go to a local bait shop. These bait shops know the local area, the local lakes, where the fish are biting, some very popular lakes and lakes that you'll be targeting a certain fish on, they'll be able to help you out with. This is a very good source to start. Also, internet and other people that are very common to the area and very, targeting specific fish that you may be looking for may be able to help you more. And once you find the lake you want, you need to decide how to approach that lake to fish it then. What do I use for bait? This is a common question asked. What do I use for bait on this lake? Bait can vary in many different forms. There's wax worms, there's mealworms, there's larger worms, there's your common forage such as minnows, and then there's also fake plastic baits. You need to decide which bait to use to target the fish on a specific lake. How do I decide that? I decide that by knowing what's at the bottom of the lake, knowing what these fish are feeding on. Is it a soft bottom lake? If it's a soft bottom lake, most of these fish will be feeding on worms and soft water shrimp that'll feed in the mud bottoms. If it's a hard water lake, these fish might be in search of minnows or other small fish that they can target. Using information such as this will help you narrow down your bait choices to be very successful on the hard water. Your bait choice can be varying across states. You have to be very vigilant of the state laws. What bait can I use on certain waters? Some waters you cannot use certain baits, and you have to be very vigilant of these rules. All in all, safety first, fun second. Ice fishing can give you an experience that you've never dreamed of and can also create a passion for you as it is a passion for many others across the Midwest.